I want to introduce you to the next guest speaker. She is going to talk to you about this Vitality Stack, these 4 incredible products. Now, she has an extensive background, in, the healthcare profession for over 26 years. She immediately saw the science behind our products, and today she's having incredible success. Just in the last 3 months, she went from, what we call a Pro 1 to nearly hitting Pro 6 last month. She's beyond Pro 5. So she's our newest Pro 5. I want to welcome, Debbie Zito to our first Life Vantage virtual training. And she's going to cover the Vitality Stack with you. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Gabe. This is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm really getting used to these Zoom meetings. This is new to me. It's kind of strange looking at myself, talking to myself. But anyway, good morning from St. Simon's Island. Like Gabe said, my name is Debbie Zito. I'm a pediatric and adolescent physician assistant. I've been in practice actually about 27 years. I'm joined this morning by my wonderful friend who I deeply admire, Dr. Neil Goodman. He's currently practicing with me, pediatric and adolescent medicine. Just a super wonderful man. He's been in practice actually 33 years. And amongst many of his hats, he is currently the chief of pediatrics at our local hospital. So we have the incredible honor and privilege every single day of teaching our families in our practice about good health and good nutrition, how it's so important even from the start of one's life. So we both truly love LifeVantage. We have great personal stories. I've been doing LifeVantage products for about 2 years, and slowly over the last couple of years, I've lost 30 pounds. I've got great energy. I feel good. I just, I wake up loving every day, and my family's NRF2 activated, and we're just all loving it. Anyway, we've been really blessed by seeing the results in our patients too. We have a variety of illnesses and chronic diseases in our practice, and just are happy that we can share something so wonderful with them. I've been super blessed, like I said, personally, but also this team that's growing in my area. It's just booming, and I can't even really explain it. And shout out to each of you this morning who woke up this morning to learn and listen in, and thanks for supporting us. But anyway, let's get to it. We want to talk to you this morning about cellular health and why the Vitality Stack is so important. It addresses 4 major destroyers of our cells. So we have close to 37 trillion cells, and every time I say that, I think, wow, that is pretty impressive. But 37 trillion cells in our body, and every day our cells are affected by so many things. The air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the infections that we have, the diseases we have, the antibiotics that Dr. Goodman and I prescribe, and even for each of us, the everyday stress, that emotional stress that we're all under. So guess what? All of these things wreak turmoil on our bodies. So we used to think a while ago that a large percentage of our gene makeup was predetermined. And now and over the years, we found that it's really just a small portion, maybe even 20%. So what do we do with the other 80%? Well, it's pretty cool. I know exactly what to do. We have to learn how to talk to our genes and teach them every day that what they have to do. And one way we do this is what Gabe talked about. It's one of my favorite words, nutrigenomics. This indeed is the buzzword even in traditional medicine that I practice these days. So nutrigenomics is simply how food talks to your genes. So how the food talks to your genes. And simple, we know what to do with that. It's our Vitality Stack. This is our best defense every day for keeping ourselves healthy. LifeVantage has these new great tear-off packs. Makes it easy. Literally, you can take this little guy, throw it in your backpack, throw it in your purse, your briefcase, your diaper bag, and just you're good for the day. So it's the perfect synergy of incredible products that work on our cellular health. So Dr. Goodman, I want to talk to you a little bit about that and the 4 major things that come to mind when we talk about cellular health are four things that are destructive to our cells. So one is oxidative stress, two is mitochondrial dysfunction, three, immune system dysfunction, and four, inflammation. So oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, immune system dysfunction, and inflammation.
You're muted.
Hey, Deb, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. I don't know what happened, but you became muted all of a sudden.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you guys hear about the major destroyers of cell health?
Can you repeat that?
Yep, let's talk about it. Absolutely. Okay, four things come to mind when we talk about damage to our cells. One is oxidative stress, two is mitochondrial dysfunction, three is immune system dysfunction, and four is inflammation. So let's talk first very simply about oxidative stress. What is it? So it's a byproduct of our cells as we breathe, okay? This is basically waste or trash. It's the subsequent production of free radicals. And you know what, you guys? Free radicals are horrible. They're pretty scary. They wreak havoc on our cells. They're basically tornadoes powering through our bodies, causing destruction. So the way we fight oxidative stress is we come in and we want to clean up all of the trash. And the way we do that is we make antioxidants. And Gabe talked about that, about activation. Well, we know we can make antioxidants through our nutrition, which is really super, super important. But what we want to know is how can we turn on the system to make them? And that's why, you guys, our NRF2 Protandim is so awesome, because it's an activator. It turns on that system every second, every day, and makes antioxidants. So, like Gabe said, it is the only proven clinical, it's NRF2 is the only supplement proven in a clinical trial to reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% a month. So it's really the synergy of 5 basic plant herbs. So like Gabe said, we are an awesome company. We're a nutraceutical company, not a pharmaceutical company. We have nutritional or nutraceutical products. We don't have pharmaceutical products. These are not drugs. Our studies are on animals. They're not on people. All right, so that's oxidative stress. Let's talk about mitochondrial dysfunction. So first of all, what are our mitochondria? The mitochondria are your cellular batteries. So your mitochondria are your cellular batteries. The mitochondria are the major powerhouse of the cell. And every cell in our body has mitochondria. In fact, some of them have 300 to 400 mitochondria. So they're responsible for making our energy. So they power everything in our bodies, our heart, our breathing, our muscle movements. And you should know that almost every disease is associated with mitochondrial dysfunction. So our Protandim NRF1 stimulates the messenger in the cell that is responsible for the repair of the mitochondria. So just remember, you guys, as you age, it's really, really important to obtain peak function. In fact, that's why I got into LifeVantage. I hit 50 2 years ago, and all of a sudden had that uh-oh moment where I knew, I worked out, I had great health, everything was good, but I thought, you know what, this is a turning point in my life, and I really have to talk to my body. What do I need to do to have peak performance? So the other thing that's important to know is, as your mitochondria are working in your cells, all 300 to 400 of them every day, working really hard, guess what they're doing? They are creating more oxidative stress. So hence, that's another reason why it's very important for the NRF1 and NRF2 to come together and be taken together. So anyway, I think that's a great segue for me to lead into Dr. Goodman's review of our other 2 products, in the Vitality Stack, our ProBio and our Omegas. And I'm just going to step aside so he can join us this morning. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. Thank you, Debbie and Gabe, for your wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm currently a pediatric professor to medical students and nurses, a former microbiologist and immunologist, and also I'm a 14-year U.S. Army veteran and an expert on nutritional supplementation. My own story is that since being on Protandim NRF2 and now the Vitality Stack, I've been able to come off of most of my blood pressure medicines that I've been on for almost 30 years. My distance vision, which used to be excellent, and then worsened in the last 5 years, has returned. So now I don't have to wear distance glasses anymore. I'm less irritable and anxious, and Debbie will attest to that, since she works with me every day. A little less compulsive, perhaps. My facial skin, I think, is smoother. And I've also shed 7 pounds. Being a scientist, I was probably the biggest skeptic, but after doing the research, understanding the mechanisms, and experiencing the benefits myself, I'm now the biggest advocate. I have to tell you that I think LifeVantage Company has hit it out of the park on this one. I cannot understand why anyone who has either taken just the NRF1 and NRF2 activators would not want to take the Vitality Stack. Everyone you know should be on this, and I want to tell you why. You've heard about products based on the science of NRF1 and NRF2 activation, as Debbie explained, but they also really understand the challenges that are involved with the other 2 pillars of health that are addressed in the Vitality Stack, the gut-brain connection and the blood-brain connection. The gut-brain connection. First, let's talk about the microbiome. What is the microbiome? This is the bacterial mix that lives and coexists with us in our intestine. It's only in recent years that we've begun to learn that those bacteria living within us affect us more than we could ever know. If you were to take the DNA from those 100 billion bacteria that live within us and put it in a beaker, it would be more than all of the DNA extracted from our own human cells. In our guts, you could say that there is more of them than there is of us. These bacteria consist of both good bacteria and bad bacteria. The good bacteria are always fighting for survival because they are constantly barraged by the things we put in our bodies: sugar, antibiotics, toxins, heavy metals, artificial sweeteners, cooking oils, and hormones in our food, or just plain bad eating. Generally, they only live a short while, and when they die, they need to be replaced. When there's inflammation in our intestine due to disease, an injured lining, gluten sensitivity perhaps, or other insults, the intestinal wall develops leaks. This is referred to as the leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome has been implicated in hundreds of diseases, including Alzheimer's, autism, ADHD, Parkinson's, Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, and ulcerative colitis. You may not know this, but bacteria secrete neurotransmitters too. Our bodies are very sensitive to their presence. They have many names, but for example, serotonin and dopamine are just 2 that are similar to what our own brain puts out. Because there is enhanced absorption of some of the bad signals put out by bad bacteria, this can affect our mood, our energy, and just generally our health. Even if it doesn't cause frank disease, it may be present as tiredness, poor sleep quality, pain, or cramps. It's also been linked to depression and anxiety. In essence, these bacteria are indirectly controlling our bodies. Since the intestine is so central to how we feel, and in my circles, it's been referred to as our second brain. The gut is also responsible for as much as 70% of our natural immunity because of the number of immunity cells that line the intestine. So what to do? Well, we have to restore the balance of good bacteria in order to correct these bad signals and to heal the leaky gut. That's where Physique ProBio comes in. You know, probiotic means for life. This is the only probiotic formulation that can actually successfully get 6 helpful strains of bacteria into our gut to repair or replace our injured microbiome. There are 6 billion particles in these 3 pellets that are protected with BioTract, which allows 60% of the payload to arrive in your intestine. Normally, probiotics that you take are only getting maybe 4 or 5% into the gut. So it's not the number that's on the package that's important, it's did it get there? The BioTract coating dissolves after it passes through the stomach, so it avoids the destruction by stomach acid that would immediately affect other preparations. For example, yogurt, cheese, powdered or capsular probiotics, they cannot survive the trip. Physique ProBio is actually able to deliver a steady stream of helpful bacteria over 10 to 12 hours. It also includes Wellmune, which was proven in FDA trials to enhance gut immunity by telling our immune cells to activate quickly with any threat of disease. While we can't claim that these products cure or mitigate disease, people who use ProBio feel better. They have more energy, they can have less respiratory and other illnesses, they may experience improved mood and alertness, improved digestion, and decreased inflammation. This then can restore the gut environment to what it was supposed to be in order to have good health. The 4th pillar that I want to discuss is the blood-brain connection. Let's talk about Omega Plus. The Omega Plus vitamin that's also in your Vitality Stack is a combination of omega-3 and omega-7 oils as well as vitamin D. You've heard about all kinds of omegas, omega-3, omega-6, omega-7. What do they do? Well, omega-3s are needed to maintain an intact blood cellular membrane brain barrier. Our brains are mostly fat, and omega-3s are a large part of it. They form the barrier between our blood and brain cells. If this gets disrupted due to inflammation, then disease sets in. Things begin to permeate the brain that aren't supposed to get there. If the ratio of omega-6, which is found in most of our cooking oils, is greater than, say, 1-to-1 ratio, it creates then inflammation of our blood vessels, our heart, our liver, and our joints. It's the intake of omega-3 that keeps this in check. We cannot get enough of it in our diet. It's only found in seeds, nuts, fish, and some vegetables like kale and avocado. It's also present in mother's breast milk. That was part of the grand design to develop healthy brains in infancy. Omega-3 helps with proper blood thinning, it lowers cholesterol, it reduces our risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. It also improves, of course, brain as well as joint function and builds muscles in athletes. That's why our elite athletes and ultramarathoners and Iron men and women use omega-3s and, in fact, use the Vitality Pack. Omega-7 also helps to reduce inflammation, and it also helps to reduce insulin resistance seen in diabetes and prediabetes. What makes ProBio different is that it isn't rotten. If you've ever smelled a fish oil pill, it smells like fish. It gives you burps that smell like fish. It causes indigestion, and your breath smells like fish. Personally, I like fish, but fish should not smell. If it does, it's rancid. Oftentimes, ordinary fish oil is polluted with mercury and arsenic, and the fish are mishandled and are allowed to spoil while waiting to be processed. Omega-3 plus fish oils, DHA and EPA, the same ones that are found in breast milk and baby formula, are ultra purified and traceable even down to the very boat that the fish were obtained from. They have absolutely no smell. The last ingredient in Omega Plus is vitamin D. This is the granddaddy of all vitamins. It's absolutely essential to human life. It not only builds strong bones and muscles, but it's involved in maintaining a proper immune system. It supports healthy cell division and growth. It protects against breast and prostate disease, and it's an antioxidant in its own right. When you put all of this together and have the wherewithal to include them in a convenient packet that supports all 4 pillars of human wellness, well, I can't say enough. There is barely anything else that a human needs to take, with the exception of fiber and a healthy diet, that isn't in this biohacking marvel. Gabe and Debbie, I appreciate the opportunity to share my passion and knowledge with this audience. And Deb, I'm going to give it back to you to restate why the Vitality Stack is so important.
Wow, that was awesome, Dr. Goodman. Thank you so much. So everyone, remember this. There's a war going on in your bodies every day while you're awake and while you're asleep. And truly, our cells are losing their ability to do their assigned jobs. LifeVantage really has the perfect solution, and it's our vitality stack. It just makes sense. I don't know if you all have seen them, but they're great. They're super easy. Little tear-off packs. I think this is the coolest thing because every morning when I wake up, I think, awesome, I just had the best meal of the day. So you've got your 3 omegas, your 3 probiotics, you've got 2 NRF1s and 1 NRF2. Simple. So great. You can take them all at one time. You know, there have been days it's been crazy. I put it in my briefcase, remember to take it at lunchtime. Sometimes I take my probios. I'll take them with each meal. There are days like today when I did my first Zoom meeting that I'll probably take it twice today. Anyway, Gabe, we're going to turn it back to you. Thank you for having us this morning.
How much it is, or do any follow-up questions?
Okay. Oh my goodness. That was incredible information. And Dr. Goodman and Debbie, I want both of you to understand something. I want you to know from me and our team how much you mean to our team and the value that you bring. I mean, instant credibility. Really, really loved your presentation. I wrote down some good notes. No fish burps. How many of you have got those fish oils that you were disgusted by the fish burps, right? 60% of the good guys gets to where they need to be because of the timed, science behind, our probiotics. Incredible stuff. And guys, just understand this. When I started with this company 8.5 years ago, I'm building vision here now. All I had to understand what was oxidative stress, right? Then a couple years later, it was the activation of pathways, NRF2, NRF1, which you've heard multiple times, by Debbie and by Dr. Goodman. And then it was this new term called nutrigenomics, right? Folks, we have the privilege of pioneering this new paradigm in health. And now what the buzzword is that takes it a step above nutrigenomics is biohacking the aging code, using science and technology to become the absolute best version of yourself. If you want the best version of yourself, get that vitality stack, and then you don't have to worry about anything else. It covers all bases.